Hello again, guys. We are gonna talk about means of transportation now. What is meant by means of transport or transportation? Car, plane, bus, taxi. So, how can we use these words in English? Before I tell you, or before I start talking about our topic today, I just wanted to say something which is related to the reported speech because I forgot to say it for you just um, last time. What's the difference between say and tell? He said me that it was cold. He told me that it was cold. Which one is correct? Well, the second one is correct. Why? Because tell or told is in the past is followed by an object. Okay? But you can't say he said me. Said is not followed by an object in this case. It's gonna be a mistake. So that's the first difference between say and tell. Tell could be followed by an object while say is not. If you are gonna put an object, you have to put a preposition in between. So he said to me, not just he said me. Okay, that's number one. Number two, another difference between say and tell. If I have these two sentences, I want you to just try and think which one is correct and why. The guy on the radio told that. The guy on the radio said that. Which one is correct and which one is not correct? Well, in order to answer, you have to know that say, or we use say, when we talk about information for everyone. It's not just for one person, but we use tell mostly when the information is directed to you. So, for example, if your mother is talking to you, so you're gonna say what my mother told me, because the information here is directed to you, not to everyone. But the guy on the radio, is the guy on the radio is speaking to just you or speaking to just one person? No, he is speaking to everyone. He's telling everyone. That's why we are gonna say the second one is correct. The guy on the radio said that. Okay? Okay. Now I'm gonna move to the means of transportation. Again, what are they and when can I use them and how can I use them in English? Okay? Let's have a look at this. Means of transportation. You may hear this or you may have heard this question before. How do you get around? Or how do you go or get to a place? How did you go to the club? How did you get to the club? Okay? What is meant by how do you get around? Get around, it means what? It means to move from one place into another. That's a get around, guys. So he asks you in a different way about how do you move from one place into another through which transportation means. So, for example, we can say I went to the club by bus. Mostly, most of you are gonna say by bus, by car, by taxi, whatever. I'll tell you guys, when can I use by, in, and on with transportation? But before that, I'd like you to watch this. So, just a minute. Okay, it's already working here, so we can, yes, watch this please.
Mark, this is English conversation practice. Transportation. 10 very short conversations. Do you know how fast you're driving? Sorry, I'm late for work. Do you need some help? Yes, I ran out of gas. Can I help you? Yes. Fill it up, please. I need a taxi. The taxi stand is over there. Did you call for a taxi? Yes, I did. Thanks. I have a flat tire again. I hate when that happens. I'm looking for the train station. It's just over there. What time is the next bus? In 10 minutes. This traffic is terrible. It's rush hour. Arrivals are on the first floor. And departures are on the second floor, right? Okay, great job. I'll see you next time. Take it easy.
Okay, so these are some of the most common questions, guys, that we can use while speaking about transportation. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the first question that I asked you. How do you get around? For example, if you go to your work, how do you go to work? Okay, if you go to the cinema, how do you go to the cinema? If you go to the university, how do you go to the university? Okay, how do you get around in general? Which transportation or which means of transportation or transport do you use more? Most of you, as I said, are gonna say I go to work by bus. I go to work by car. I go to work by bus, by car, by taxi, by subway. What's the difference? What's the difference between using by here or in or on? So this chart is going to tell you what's the difference between using these prepositions while talking about means of transportation. The first one is by, which is the most common one. You can say by car, by tram, and that's the tram. Okay, that's the tram, guys. Like that was in Alex. Okay, do you see this? By train, or you can say by rail. Rail, it means the railway itself. That's it, by rail, okay, or railway. By rail, or you can say by train, it gives the same meaning. By van, you can say van if you have one. That's the van. It looks like this. Mostly it has a window just in the front, and in the back it's closed and it looks like this. Okay, by bus, road, by plane, or by air. So you can say the surface itself, I mean surface like air, like road, like rail, or you can use the word itself, subway, or you can say subway, metro, underground. We have taken this before. By ferry, ferry it means it's like this, guys. It takes you from one side into the other side. Okay, like Salam Ferry, if you know this, it had a famous accident in Salam Ferry. Okay, um, so by you can use it generally for general ways of transport or travel, general ways of transport or travel, but you can't use between by and the means of transportation, any article. You can't use indefinite article like a or an. You can't use the definite article like the. So you can say by a car, by the car. It's wrong. If you said by a car, it's mistake. If you said by the car, it's a mistake as well. And you can't use possessive adjectives. Do you remember possessive adjective? My, her, his, their, and so on. So you can say by my car, by their car. We don't use by if we have one of these. So if you have a and the, my, or her, you can't use by. So what can I use if I want to say my or the or a or an? You can use in, on in this case. Okay, in and on are considered are more specific or dealing with more specific ways of transport or vehicles as well. What's the difference between them? The difference is that we can use in when you have to sit in the means of transportation. You can't stand in this means of transportation. So if you are in a car, you have to sit. You can't stand. Truck, the same. That's the truck. So if you are here, you can't stand. You can't stand in the truck. Any means of trucks. Okay, just like any. You have to sit. Okay, helicopter the same. You have to sit. Taxi, you have to sit. So in a car or in the car, a truck, a helicopter, a taxi. Okay, we use on with means of transportation that you can stand and walk while in motion. So for example, if you are on a plane, you can stand on the plane and even you can walk while it's moving. The theory the same, the ship and the boat. Don't forget the ship is the large one and the boat is the small one. Ships are the big one, boat the small one. Just like this or like this. This is not. Okay, train, horse, even on the horse. You can stand on the horse, okay, while walking. Some do this. Camels as well, motorbike, motorcycle. Motorcycle is the same word, okay? Or you can see even, okay, bike or bicycle, okay, and foot. Americans are gonna say, I don't know if I said this here. Yeah, I'm gonna mention it later. On and by, the difference between American and British one. Okay, so I'm not gonna say it now, I'm gonna say it after I finish this part. So now, again, did you get it, guys? You can say by with general ways of transportation without using the indefinite article or the definite or the possessive adjectives. You can use in and when and on, sorry, with specific vehicles. Just the difference between them, you have to sit in, but on you can stand and walk while in motion. Okay. Okay, so again, by any one of by just any means of transportation, by car, motorcycle, bike, plane, train, tram, ship. In, you must sit in car, van, truck. On, you can stand and walk. Okay, train, plane, ship, tram, bus. um, Sit and stand up on it. It's already easy. Stand. You can stand on it. Even bike, motorcycle, skateboard. Skateboard. Okay, we have taken this before, I know, but just I revising it so that to make sure that you got it. Skates as well. Okay, so skates or skateboard. There is just one more difference. Americans are gonna say by foot, okay, while British are gonna say on foot. Okay, that's the difference between them, because maybe you hear a person who says by foot. Okay, so it's correct if this is American English. Means of transportation, like what? I already give you the difference between them, between using by, we can't use that or a or an or my. In, you have to sit in. On, you can stand and walk while in motion. Words like what? I just got you some pictures or images to make it clearer for you. Car, it's okay. Tram, van, subway, metro, or underground, or you can say even by road if it's for the car. Ferry, van, air, sea, bus, cable car. I got you an image of a cable car. That's cable car. Sorry, cable. Yes, that's what I mean. Cable car, guys. Okay. Okay, that's the image, but it's so small, so maybe you don't see it. Metro, subway, truck, van, taxi, boat, and ship. Okay, car, taxi, truck, helicopter. Okay, the same. Plane, it's easy. Train, ferry, a ship or boat, bike, horse, motorbike or motorcycle, and foot. Okay, so these are the means of transportation that mostly are common. Now you know the difference. If a person asked you, how do you get around? You can say by or in or on. Most of us, when we answer this question, they say by car, by metro. For example, in a taxi. Okay, yeah, you can say by or in or on. But native speakers, guys, I'm gonna give you a surprise now. Native speakers they don't use this. They don't use this. Yes, if you ask a native speaker and you ask him, how do you go to work? He's not gonna say by car. He's not gonna say in a taxi. He's not gonna say on a bike, for example, on a train. He is not gonna say this. He's not gonna say this. So what will he say? Well, native speakers don't use prepositions like by and in and on. They use these verbs: take, drive, ride, walk, and fly. 5 verbs. So if I ask you, how do you go to work? How did you get here? How do you get around? Don't tell me by car. Don't tell me by bus, by subway. We use take. We use drive, ride, walk, and fly. So what's the difference between them? I'm gonna start with the last one. Fly for planes, for sure. So how did you travel to, let's say, how did you travel to Spain? I went by plane. We don't say like this. I flew. Fly and flew and will fly, I mean, in the different tenses for sure. So I flew. So we use the verb fly. Walk. Okay, how do you go to the club? We don't say I go by foot. No, I walk. It gives it the same meaning, but we don't use the prepositions. We use the verbs. It's more common. And it's more common for native speakers, I mean. Ride. We can use ride for anything that you get on. I go by bike. No. For example, what did you do in the pyramids? For example, I rode horses. Okay. A motorbike, bike. So ride bike, motorbike, or horse. Drive if you have a car. So how do you go to school, or how do you go to the university? I go by car. We don't say this. I drive, simply. Or I drove if it's past, I mean, or I will drive if it's a party that you will go to. Okay, so you can change the tenses, but we use these verbs. Take for the rest: the bus, train, taxi, plane. You can say plane or you can say fly as well. I go by a taxi. No, it's a mistake because you used a and we used by. I take, okay, I take a taxi. I take the bus. I take the train. I take the subway. Okay? So these are the verbs that we use when you are asked about how do you go to any place. Okay? That's number one. Number two, there is also a confusion between these words. Some don't know how to use them differently. What's the difference between get on and get in? Get off and get out. What's the difference between them? Well, I'll tell you guys. If you are talking about public transportation, public, it means it's for everyone, for a lot of people, not just for you only. And you are talking about big one, you are going to use get on and get off. That's get on. to get on and get off. I don't know if this is clear from the picture or not. Do you see now? Get on and get off. So what's public transportation? Public for everyone. The train. So do you take the train for yourself? No, it's for everyone. The bus for everyone. The plane for everyone. So what time did you get on the plane? What time did you get off the bus? Okay. So get on and get off. So we use it when public transportation, where there are a lot of people, and we are talking about big one, not small transportation or means of transportation. The opposite, what about get in and get out? When can I use it? For get in and get out, we use it when we are talking about private and small. What's private and small? For example, if you are talking about a taxi, so the taxi for a lot of people, they get into the taxi with you, a lot of people. Is it a big means of transportation? No, it's a small means of transportation. And at the same time, it's private. You can have it by yourself, you can have another person with you, it's okay, but it's mainly private. It's not for a lot of people. So if you, for example, you tell me that you are going to take the taxi while you are going home. So I'm gonna call you. So where are you now? You tell me where. I got in the taxi. So that's get in the taxi, to get inside the taxi. What about the opposite? Get out. Get out the taxi, the car. Okay. And I forgot to say, Americans, we have said this before, I think, but let me repeat it again. It can be, we can hear it like taxi and we can hear it like cab. Did I write it here? Taxi or cab. Americans are gonna say cab, the word cab. You may hear it like this as well. Okay. So for example, he got in the cab or the taxi. Okay. Let's see the next one. Transportation questions. What are some questions that are related to transportations as well, or transportation? Okay, I'm gonna show it in a different color. Just change the color. Maybe it's not so clear. At what age does the average person obtain a driver's license? So you have to think and tell me. Can you ride a motorcycle, guys? Do you drive a car often or often? You may hear it like this as well, often or often. Have you ever gotten a parking ticket? Is parking a problem in your country? What are the most annoying bad driving habits of other drivers in your country? What do you think the safest form of transportation and why? Are there speed limits in your country? If so, what's the average speed limit? Do you have a bicycle? What color is that? Do you have a driver's license? What's your favorite color for a car? Do you often ride a public transportation during rush hour? Rush hour, it means the time that is very crowded and everyone gets out of his work and gets out of school. Like for example, in Egypt at 2 p.m. At 2 p.m. everyone gets out of his work and the students get out of the schools. So the streets are really crowded and very full of people. How much is the bus fare on the train fare or the train fare? Let's say the bus, not the train. How do you call a taxi in your country from the side of the road? Raise your hand in the air or what? Okay. So these questions are going to be an assignment. You are going to try to answer these questions. Okay, so you are going to try to answer these questions as a homework. One more homework. The listening. Let's listen for this. Watch this video, bus travel, and answer the question. Didn't read the script if you would like to. So Randall's daily bus ride is minutes long. Randall likes riding the bus because that's number 2. Randall sometimes while he is on the bus. So there are 3 questions. Just to try to answer them after listening or watching.
I am Randall. Walking down to the bus stop right bus every day. Usually takes about an hour. And things I like about taking the bus are, number one, I don't have to worry about the driving in case of dangerous snowy conditions. And the other thing is, on the bus, I can use the internet. It has a nice internet connection, and I can relax and do work, relax, watch movies, or whatever I need to do.
Okay, so try to answer the questions, guys. One more. Okay. Listen to the recording and answer the questions. These are the questions. Your will allow you to ride on any local and express bus throughout the city. The city is planning to construct 2 new below ground to ease congestion on streets throughout the downtown area. Should cross the street, design crosswalks to avoid accidents. So there are 3 questions. Try to answer them.
Vocabulary on transportation. Avenue. Bicycle lane. Bus. Bus pass. Bus station. Bus stop. Cable car. Highway. Intersection. Motorist. Pedestrian. Street. Subway. Subway line. Subway station. Taxi. Taxi stand. Ticket machine. Train station. Truck.
Okay. This is number 3. Try to answer using the right word or choosing the right word. If you don't know a word out of these, I'm going to explain now these words throughout the session. Okay. One more listening. He says here, many people take the bus to go to and from work or travel by bus on their vacations. If you are in a different country and you don't understand bus announcement in English, you might end up on the wrong bus. Las Vegas instead of New York. Study the words and bus schedule. So let's have a look at this and try to answer the questions. Study the bus schedule information first, and then listen to the recording and answer the questions. Then review the script for this. So the bus train, okay, at 9:50 a.m. True or false? The second the question. True or false? 3. True or false? The others, okay. Sorry. Number 8 and number 10. Let's try to listen now.
Number 1. The bus to Reno, Nevada leaves at 9:50 a.m. 2. The bus to Boise, Idaho arrives at 9:35 p.m. Number 3. The bus fare to Seattle, Washington is $112. Number 4. The bus bound for Fresno, California leaves at 11 o'clock sharp. Number 5. The bus heading to Reno is scheduled to arrive at 4:30. Number 6. The bus fare to Boise is $85. Number 7. The bus to Seattle is scheduled to arrive at 10 after 5. Number 8. The bus to Fresno leaves 20 minutes earlier than the bus to Boise. Number 9. The bus fare to Seattle is just under $100. Number 10. The bus trip to Reno takes over 7 hours.
Okay. Now getting back to our okay, I'm jumping the words. Transportation hasn't really worked a lot in the past 100 years, so you are going to try to tell me what are these words as homework also. Okay, now what's the difference between these words? Drop off, see off, take off, check in, check out, set out. These are called in English phrasal verbs. What is meant by phrasal verbs? Verb plus preposition. And this preposition changes the meaning of the verb. So what is meant by drop off? Drop off means to take someone to a place. So for example, we drop John off at the airport. See off to say goodbye to a person at airport or station. She saw Ahmed off yesterday. It means she went with him to the airport and told him goodbye. Take off, it means where? It means when the plane leaves the airport. So the plane took off at 7 a.m. Check in, it means to register at a hotel or at a place. For example, the group checked in last Friday. Check out, that's the opposite, to leave or pay for the hotel or for the place. To leave it, pay the money that you have to pay, and then you are gonna leave. Okay, so he packed and checked out of the hotel. Set out, what is meant by set out? It means to start a journey. Okay, so Franz set out early to explore. It means he went on a journey or started his journey to start to explore new areas or new places. My dad gave me a lift. He me at the metro station. So how can I complete this sentence? That's your homework. You are going to think and you are gonna tell me how can we complete this sentence, okay? Okay, some ask what's the difference between the word travel and trip. Well, first, as spelling, don't forget that Americans use just one L, travel, traveler, while British they double the L. Don't forget this. Okay, travel is a verb of action. Okay, while trip is a noun. That's the main use that I'm gonna speak about. Okay, so I'm planning to travel to Peru. Okay, so to travel to, but I'm planning a trip, not to. I can't, because to is followed by verb in the infinitive, so I can use travel, not a trip in this case. So I'm planning a travel to Peru. That's a mistake because your travel is not a noun, it's a verb. But we can use it as a noun. Yes, I'm gonna tell you now. If it's a noun, it means what. So travel, it means to go from one place to another, especially over a long distance. Okay. So I like to travel by planes or by plane. Mary travels to Italy once a year. What about trip? Act of going to a place for a short period of time. It's not for a very long time. And returning back. So you on a trip, it means you go and you come back. We went on a trip to the beach. It means you went for a short period of time and then you went back. Okay. John is on a business trip. He is still working on a business trip. Okay, but travel could be a noun, yes. And the trip could be a verb, yes. But the meaning is a little bit different. That's why it's like an exception. Travel, the act of traveling, the concept of traveling itself. So we don't say a travel because you are talking about the idea of traveling, the concept of traveling. You should write about your travels. Travel broadens your mind in general. What about trip? Trip is a verb. As a verb, has a different meaning. It doesn't mean a trip like the noun. It means what? To stumble or almost to fall while walking or running. Okay, I tripped in front of everyone. He tripped over the cat in the jar. Okay, so what is meant by tripped? Okay, I'm gonna get you an image to make it easier for you to get as a verb. Okay, so that's the tripping, guys. To trip, it means what? It means to fall. Okay, so as a verb, it has a different meaning: to fall while walking or running. Now we are going to turn into some vocabularies related to transportations and how can we use them. Okay, so ticket office, that's the ticket office, guys. That's the ticket office. Travel agency like this. It's a place where you go and you ask for let's say system of traveling and information, the organization, and everything related to this. We have taken this before, even in jobs, travel agent. Okay, do you remember this or no? Okay. Then we have the word brochure. What's meant by brochure? It's like an advertising way. Okay, so you have the picture and you have an information about the place that you are going to travel to. So it looks like this. So that's the brochure, guys. It tells you about the place in a picture and some information, what can you do in this place and so on. So it's a kind of advertising material, okay? Price or fare or payment, it means the money that you are gonna pay. How much is the fare? How much money? Okay? Booking or reservation, we have already taken this before. To book or to let's say reserve a room or a place. Passengers, what is meant by passengers means people who are traveling. Just a minute, I may show you an image. Okay, passengers, these are the passengers, guys. People who travel, uh, okay. People who travel to some place or to a place, some places or flight number, or the flight itself even. So which flight number? What's your flight number? Destination, it means the place that you want to go to. So what's your destination? It means what's the place that you want to travel to. Vacation, we know what's a vacation. Business trip, it's easy as well. Cancel the booking, it's easy. Leave or depart, to leave a place. Arrives, customs. That's the customs, guys. We have taken this in translations. Customs, okay, and they start searching or checking if everything is okay. Delay, it means what? We have taken this in business. Delay, it means to keep things after the date, after the or after the time. Okay, so you keep it after the time. Information disk, that's the information disk. I hope it's clear from the picture. That's the information disk. That's it. It's the place that you ask for any information that you want. Okay, baggage, that's the baggage. Bags, okay, the bags that you take with you while you are traveling. Then we have the word itinerary. What is meant by itinerary? That's the itinerary, guys. The detailed plan of your journey. So, for example, if you are gonna travel, what are the places um, that you can have in your way, for example? Okay, so that's the detailed plan of your journey. So, for example, if you are taking the train, he's gonna tell you the train is from Cairo to Alex, and you are going to go first to let's say Tanta, and then you go to or Banha, and then Tanta. So that's the itinerary or the detailed plan of your journey. Okay. Passport control is just like this. The one who is checking your passport is going to check if your passport is okay or not. You can travel or no. Okay. Single ticket, it means it's ticket just for one way. You go, for example, single ticket. I want to travel to America. Single ticket, it means I want to travel to America and I want to come back. Return ticket, it means you get a ticket to America and then a ticket back to Egypt. That's a return ticket. Okay. Seat number, the number of your seat. That's it. Like in the train or on the plane, you have a number and you sit in this chair. Okay, then we have the word platform. What is meant by platform? That's platform, guys. It's where you can, or the number of the platform where you can get your train. For example, if you are traveling to Alex, he tells you are platform 4 or platform 5, for example. Sidewalk. So this is platform. So what about sidewalk? In Arabic, we translate both of them rasif, but in English, sidewalk, it means this one that we walk on, and this and the platform is the one that you take the train from. Get on or off the train. First or second class, that's how you travel. First class, which is more expensive. Second class, which is less expensive and for common people. Ticket collector, what is meant by ticket collector? Ticket collector or ticket inspector, that's him, the person who comes and they check if you have a ticket or not. If you don't have a ticket, you are going to pay extra money, fine. You are going to pay fine in this case. Okay. Okay. The next word that we have is drillment. What is meant by drillment? Drillment, it means when there is a train and this train, just like this picture, this train gets off the railway track. So the train gets off the railway, he is off the railway tracks in this case. Okay. Express train, it means the fast one, it's easy to get. Okay. Train crash, that's a train crash when two trains crash together. Breakdown, that's breakdown when your car stops working. Okay. Announced, what is meant by announced? Call, like for example, if you are in the airport or at the airport and a person said it's time for boarding, for example, so they announce something or announce on TV. It means to speak in the mic or to tell something in the mic, for example. The next word is pedestrian. It means what? It means people who are walking in the street, okay, or crossing the street. Okay. Okay, double-decker bus. What is meant by double-decker bus? That's the double-decker bus. Okay. Just a minute. I like to get you. Okay, the next word is tunnel. I got you another picture because maybe it's not clear here. It's this one and this one. But I know it's not so clear here, so that's the tunnel, guys. You see now? That's it. Okay, I think it's more clear here, or it's clearer here, sorry. Okay, the next one here. Yes. Okay. Airline, it means like Egyptian airline, for example. Flight number, the number of your plane that you are traveling on. Boarding, what is meant by boarding? People start to people start to get, yes, people start to make what? People start to get on the plane. Get on the plane. After that, they are going to close the airplane and nobody can get into this. Runway, what is meant by runway? That's the runway. It's where the plane can land or depart from. Gate, what is meant by gate? That's the gate, gate number 2, gate number 3, the place that you can just, they can check and you can get into the plane. Departure lounge, okay, and arrival lounge. Departure and arrival. When there is a person who wants to travel, they are in a specific area, and people who come from abroad, they be in a specific lounge or a specific area. So that's the arrival. Even if you go and say goodbye to one of your friends or something, you wait for him in the departure lounge, okay? If there is a person who comes from abroad, you wait for him in the arrival lounge. Trolley, that's the trolley, okay, where you can have your bags on. Seat belt, what is meant by seat belt? That's what you have, okay, while you are driving, okay, you have to wear it, or you have to wear it, or you are going to pay money, fine, okay. um, yeah, we can start from here. Cabin number, cabin number, it's the number of the cabin on a ship or on yeah, let's say on a ship, which is clear. Lifeboat, what is meant by lifeboat? Lifeboat is what we have when you people may sink, okay, so it's like saving people, okay, saving people. So that's the lifeboat, guys, the lifeboat. We use it in emergencies, in emergency time. If people are going to sink, we have to use it, okay, to save people. That's the lifeboat. Okay, life jacket, that's the life jacket. That's the life jacket, guys. Life jacket. Okay. What else? Sink, it means to drown, to get into the sea or water and you die. Compass, that's the compass. It gives you the directions: north, south, east, and west. And west. There is also something else. Life raft. Okay, you can use it. Raft. That's life raft. Okay, it's different than than the lifeboat. Our next word is map. Of course, you know what's a map. Lane. What is meant by lane? So, for example, bike lane, car lane. It's the area on the road that is, yes, that is specified for something, for cars, for trucks, for bikes. Okay, it's called lane. Highway. You know what's the highway? Even in Arabic, we say highway. It's used to join cities together or towns together. Okay, then we have what? Then we have one-way street. What is meant by one-way street? It's a street for just walking or for driving just one way. You can't come back from the same street. You can't return and come back from the same street. It's just one way. Okay, one direction. Expressway, it's almost the same. We can use it as well as the same. It's like what in Egypt? It's like an autostrad in Egypt. Okay. It has limited number of places to enter or to leave. Okay. Crossroad. What is meant by crossroad? That's you can say crossroad like this. Okay. Or even here or here, okay, like this as well. Or let's say this is not, sorry, crossroad. It's like the highway or something. Window seat. What is meant by window seat? I don't know if the picture is clear or not, but it's here. You see this? Window seat, it means it's next to the window. Aisle seat, it means it's next to the, it's not next to the window. Okay, it's aisle seat. It's in the aisle here. Okay. Port or harbor, it's where you can find the boats or the ships. That's called port or harbor. Okay. That's after. Ferry terminal. Ferry terminal, it's like the station for the ferry, taxi stand, the station for the taxi, subway station, the station for the subway. Station for the subway, I mean like this, Sadat, for example, it's a station, Duqi station, and so on. Cruise, cruise is just like Nile cruise, you know the Nile cruise? Okay, you can travel, for example, from here, from Cairo to Aswan or Luxor on this cruise. Calm sea is just like this when the sea has no waves. Rough sea is the sea when the sea looks like this. Do you see? It's rough sea. Seasick. What is meant by seasick? When you, for example, you travel. Let's say what you travel on a boat and you feel dizzy. You can't stand. You feel that your head is not okay. Like Ismail Yassin. Do you remember Ismail Yassin? He has seasick in one of his movies. Okay, seasickness. Seasick, we call it in Arabic دوار البحر. Okay, seasickness. Sail, that's the sail. Okay, yacht, that's the yacht. Okay, crew or captain. Captain is the captain of the ship, for example, or of the train, or sorry, of the plane. Crew, the people working with him. Okay, his crew. Team members. Excessive speed. What is meant by excessive speed? It means more than the limited speed. A traffic light, that's the traffic light. Slow down. To slow down, you don't drive fast. The opposite is what? Speed up. Speed up, it means just instead of driving, for example, on 40, let's drive on 100 or something. Traffic jam. What is meant by traffic jam? That's a traffic jam. We have taken some of these words already. I don't want to explain a lot so as not to feel that's traffic jam when most of the cars are is still in the street. It's very crowded. Uh, we have taken this before. Bump. Do you remember what's the bump? Okay, that's the bump in the. Okay, just a minute. That's it. It's used to make you lessen your speed. Okay. Accident. It's clear what's an accident. Breakdown when the car stops. Flat tire. That's a flat tire. That's a flat tire, guys. Speeding fine. Speeding fine when you pay extra money because you were driving on a very high speed. Brake. What's the brake? That's the brake. Hand brake or the brake just we can use it to stop the car. Clutch. Clutch we use it to move between the speeds. Okay, we call it in Arabic debriyage. Okay, hand brake, that's the hand brake, and we have the other brake next to the um, just down there under your feet. Okay, speedometer or speedo. I don't have a picture here, but speedo or speedometer, it tells you about the number. Yes, and how about it tells you about your speed as well. Okay, steering wheel, that's the steering wheel that controls the movement of the car. Wind screen, wiper, that's it. Okay, if there is rain or something and you would like to wipe this or clean it, you can use it. Then we have central locking. This is for the car. Puncture. What makes the flat tire? If you have a hole, if you have a puncture in the wheel. License, like this, it makes driving license in order to know how to drive. I mean, you can't drive a car unless you have a driving license. Okay, stall engine. When the car stops working, you say it's stalled. Driving test. In order to get the license, you have driving test. Car park, parking the car. Okay, multi-story car. That's it. It's for parking, but it consists of floors. GPS. What does mean GPS stands for? Global positioning system. It tells you about the position or the places of something. Opportunity. Okay, chance. The other word, I want you to hear for the word because just listen. Buffet car. What is meant by this? It means it's not so clear here. But for example, if you are sitting on a plane or a train and they get you a car that they just that has so many different types of food or drinks, and you choose one of them or you choose some of them. Peak time. Peak time, as I told you, in Egypt, it's the time that everyone is in the street, like the rush hour. That's the peak time. Conveyor belt, that's the conveyor belt. It moves so that you can take your bag or suitcase or whatever. Okay? Now, after listening to these words, I want you to try to use these words in the right places or in the right sentences. It can take a while to go through what at the airport. How can you complete this sentence? Okay? So it's a homework. I don't know, I didn't try homework, sorry. Just a moment. It's a homework, guys. Okay, so just to try to complete the words. Sorry, complete the words using one of the words that we said. Okay, we are gonna check it together. What are the idioms that we can use and related to transport or transportation in the same boat? What is meant by in the same boat? We are in the same difficult situation, bad situation. Difficult, let's just say difficult, not bad. Okay, so when the factory closed down, the workers all found themselves in the same boat. They are in the same situation. The second one, backseat driver. What is meant by backseat driver? A driver in the back? No, it doesn't mean this. It means a person who is in the car with you and he gives you unwanted advice. So for example, if you have a person with you in the car and he tells you, be careful, slow down, turn from the right, turn from the left. It means he gives you advices all the time and don't want advices because you know how to drive and you know the place, for example. So I can't say I can't stand backseat drivers like my mother-in-law. To rock the boat or not rock the boat, to do nothing that might cause trouble or upset a stable situation. So if you see stable situation, don't try to rock it. Okay, stable situations, it means, for example, the company has some problems, but people don't speak. So don't say anything that makes people angry and try to make this situation worse for them. After the recent riots, it was decided not to rock the boat by introducing strict measures. My way or the highway. If you say this to someone, you are telling him you to either accept what you say, what you propose to him, or to leave. So either to do the same as you want or to leave. You don't have much choice when someone says it's my way or the highway. Cart before the horse, we have this in Arabic. A person who puts the cart before the horse is doing things in the wrong order. He is doing something in a wrong way. Building a school before knowing the age of the population is putting the cart before the horse. You have to know the number of people who can go to the school so that you can know what type of school you need. Drive up the wall. If somebody or something drives up the wall, it means they do something that greatly annoys or irritates you. It makes you annoyed. I can't concentrate with all the noise. It's driving me up the wall. It makes me angry or annoys me. Hit the road. What is meant by hit the road? To begin a journey. It's getting late, and we have got a long way to go. Let's hit the road. Jump the light. What is meant by jump the lights? Continue driving when the traffic lights turns into red. Of course, if you see the traffic light red, you have to stop. If you continue driving, it means you jump the lights. It's very dangerous to jump the lights. No wonder he was stopped by the police. Fifth wheel. How many wheels do we have for the car? 4. And what about the fifth one? We put it where, yeah, we don't use it. We put it as a spare. So a person who finds himself in a situation where his presence is unnecessary and as a result they feel useless, it means they feel that they are fifth wheel. Everyone seemed to have a specific rule except me. I felt like a fifth wheel. Train of thought, we say this the same in Arabic. A sequence of connected ideas is called a train of thought. It means you have one idea leads to another idea and so on. I was considering the different options when the noise outside broke my train of thought. Hit and run. What is meant by hit and run? Sorry. Hit and run means what? The idiom describes a road accident in which the driver who caused the accident drives away without helping the other people involved, without telling the police. It means you hit a person and you run. The police are hunting a hit and run driver. To be just the ticket used to describe that something is exactly what is needed. If you want to improve your English, this website is just the ticket. Just the ticket, it means it's exactly what you need. Travel light. To go on a journey without taking a lot of things with you. I always travel light when I go to England. Okay? For homework, you are going to try to answer these questions. You are going to choose the right idiom for these sentences. So, for example, the first one, she's always complaining that she doesn't have enough money, but we're all what? How can you complete this sentence? The second one. What's the second one? Okay. Security camera footage shows that the car was struck by the train after what? So you have to complete it as well. Okay. Let's move on. That's a simple conversation before we listen. Checking in at the airport. How can we make check-in in the airport? At the airport. Good morning. This is the clerk, the person who is working there. Good morning. Is this the right desk? My flight is, and you say the number. Yeah, that's right. I need your passport and your ticket, please. There you go. Thank you. Do you have any baggage to check in, Mr. Smith? Yeah, these 2 suitcases. Could you put them on the conveyor belt, please? Sure. I don't think they are overweight. It means sorry, over in the weight. I mean, no, that's fine. Would you like a window or an aisle seat? A window seat, please. Here are your baggage tags and your boarding card. Your seat is 36B. Thank you. What's the boarding time? The plane is boarding in 30 minutes. You leave from gate 15. Have a good flight. Thank you. Goodbye. You can read it again, guys, one more time, so that you can practice the word that we have said. Okay, it's just a type of practice. Buying a plane ticket. If you'd like to buy a plane ticket, how can you say this in English? I'd like a ticket to London, please. Single or return? Return. How much is that? That's $150. Business class or 65 budget? Budget, it means that's the second class. Budget, then things. Or economy class, we can say. Can I have a window or aisle seat, please? Yes, certainly. Okay. We are going now to listen, but after we listen, sorry. Okay. Questions about flying. Is there a flight to London, please? Is it a direct flight or do I have to change planes? Do they serve food? Is there an airport bus? Can I have a window or aisle seat? What time do I have to check in? What time does it take off? What time does it land? How long is the flight? It's like I got you as much as I could. The most common questions related to transportation. Now we can watch this. Okay, it's already working here. Yes. Try to watch this as well.
How do you usually get around? I mostly use public transport, so I'll take the metro or sometimes buses. I have a car, but I don't use it much in the city. What about you? I don't have a car, so I either cycle or walk most places. Sometimes I take the metro or a taxi if I'm going further or if I'm out in the evening. You cycle? Here? That's brave. There's so much traffic. It's not that bad. Once you know the best routes, you can get anywhere in the city centre quite fast. Often it's faster than driving because you can take small streets and you don't get stuck in traffic jams. I guess. I still wouldn't do it though. The metro works well for me. I can always get where I need, and I know how long it's going to take. Yeah, the metro is good, but I hate taking it during rush hour. It's so crowded. Do you cycle to work every day then? Most days. My office is actually very close, so I can walk in about 20 minutes. I walk in once or twice a week and cycle on the other days. Wow, that's lucky. It takes me at least 40 minutes to get to work. By metro? Yeah. I have to change lines, which adds a lot of time. Do you remember the question you heard at the beginning of the dialogue? Do you know what this means? This question is asking about how you usually travel around the place where you live. How could you answer? In the dialogue, you heard these phrases. I mostly use public transport. I either cycle or walk most places. Sometimes I take the metro or a taxi. You can change these sentences to talk about your own situation. For example, I mostly use the subway. I drive most places. Sometimes I use trams. With public transport, you can use the verbs use or take, as in use the metro, use buses, or take the metro, take buses. The meaning is the same. If you're talking about getting around by car, bicycle, or on foot, then you can use the specific verbs drive, cycle, and walk. For example, I don't drive often. I used to cycle, but I don't have a bike anymore. I walk if I'm going somewhere in my neighborhood. Next, let's see how you can talk about public transport where you live. So, what's the best way to get to your place? Are you driving or taking the metro? I'll come by metro so I don't have to worry about parking. You live on the Green Line, right? Yeah. So you can take the Green Line to Victoria in the centre. From there, you can either change to the Blue Line for 2 stops, or you can get a bus. Which is better? Mine to take the bus. It leaves you closer to my house. Take bus number 27 and get off at October Square. It's easy to find. It's the first stop after you cross the river. Where does it leave from? The bus stop is right outside the metro station. You can't miss it. How often do the buses go? They're very regular. I don't know exactly, but I never wait more than 10 minutes, and normally much less.
Okay, I'll do that then. What time do the buses run until? I'm just thinking about getting back.
The buses run until midnight, so you should be fine. The green line stops at 1, right?
It's a Friday, so it'll run until 2 o'clock. I don't think it'll be a problem.
Great, so see you tomorrow. Here's a question for you. What public transport do you have in your hometown? What do you use to get around? Most cities have buses. Big cities might have a metro or subway. There are different words for this because many cities have their own name. In New York and Tokyo, it's the subway. In Moscow and Paris, it's the metro. In London, it's the tube or the underground. In Berlin, it's the U-Bahn, and so on.
All these words have the same meaning. If you aren't sure which to use, say metro or subway. Some cities have other kinds of public transport, like trams, light rail, or shared taxis. In many cities, you refer to metro lines by their color. So you might say, I live on the green line. Change to the blue line at Victoria.
Buses have numbers, so you can say things like, take bus number 27 and get off at October Square. You can catch the number 2 bus from just outside the metro station. If it's clear what you're talking about, you might just use the number and not say the word bus at all. For example, take the number 3 for 5 stops.
In the dialogue, you heard these questions about public transport. Where does it leave from? How often do the buses go? What time do the buses run until? Of course, you can use these questions for other forms of transport, as in, how often do the trains go? Or, what time does the subway run until? Do you remember how to answer these questions? What could you say?
You might say, it leaves from opposite the shopping centre. There are trains every 5 minutes or so. The metro stops at midnight. Now, it's your turn. Here's a task for you. Imagine that someone is coming to visit you. Pick a place in your hometown, for example, the airport, train station, or bus station. Could you give clear directions in English so that your friend can get to your home using public transport? Think about it. Pause the video and try saying your directions out loud. If you want to get really good, practice several times until you can say everything fluently without hesitation. What's next? Let's see how you can talk about driving and car journeys in English.
Good to see you. How was the drive?
It wasn't too bad. We got stuck in traffic near Birmingham, so it was slow for a while, but everything else was smooth.
Always bad around there. How long did it take?
It was a bit over 4 hours.
That's about average. Your car looks very futuristic. Is it electric or something?
No, it's a hybrid.
Huh. What's it like to drive?
It's nice. It uses the battery at low speeds, so it's really quiet to drive in the city. It's also extremely efficient, which is good for longer trips.
I'm thinking of getting a new car soon. I'm still driving my old Subaru, but it was secondhand when I bought it, and it's got over 200,000 kilometers on the clock, so it's starting to show its age. It's broken down 3 times this year already.
What are you thinking of getting?
I'm not sure. Part of me wants to get a bigger car, like an SUV or something, but then I know it'll be a nightmare to find parking or driving around the small streets in the center.
Yeah, plus those things go through fuel. They're expensive to run.
Anyway, I'll give it some thought. Do you drive? What kind of car do you have? In the dialogue, you heard these sentences, but there's a word missing in each sentence. Can you remember the missing words? Here are the answers. Do you know what these phrases mean?
If you get stuck in traffic, you get in a traffic jam. Second-hand means the same as used. If you're buying a car, you can buy a new car, or you can buy a second-hand car, which has already been used. Second-hand cars are generally much cheaper than new cars. If a car is efficient, it doesn't use so much petrol, so it's cheaper to run. Smaller cars and hybrids are generally more efficient, while bigger cars like SUVs use more petrol, so they're less efficient. If your car breaks down, it stops working. Maybe there's a problem with the engine. You can't drive it.
Also, in the dialogue, you heard these questions. We're going to show you 4 answers. You have a job. Match the question to the answer. There's one extra answer which you don't need. Take a look. Pause the video if you want more time to think about your answers. Ready? Here are the answers. Let's look at 1 or 2 useful words here. Smooth means without problems. If you say the journey was smooth, you mean that everything happened as you expected and you didn't have any problems. If a car goes through fuel, it uses a lot of gas, so it's inefficient and probably expensive to run. A hybrid is a car which uses electrical power at low speeds, and a gasoline engine, like a regular car, at higher speeds. Hybrids are quieter and can be more environmentally friendly.
What about you? If you drive, can you make 2 to 3 sentences talking about your car, what kind of car it is, and what you like or don't like about it? If you don't drive, make 2 to 3 sentences about what car you'd like to have. Use the language from the dialogue and this section. Remember, you can always go back and review a section if you need to. Pause the video and make your answer now. How was that? Could you make a fluent answer? If so, great. Let's look at one more point.
Hey everybody, it's Tony Robbins, and if there's a theme for 2020, it's making decisions. It's like not just thinking about stuff, make a decision and act on it.
You know, in basketball, they teach you how to pivot. I mean, could you imagine standing in one spot and
Are you doing anything? We need to book flights for our trip.
Yeah, about that. I had a look the other day. They're really expensive.
Actually, I was looking too. Direct flights are expensive, but I found a couple of cheaper options. The first choice is that we fly through Madrid. We can also go through Oslo, which is much cheaper, but there's a 7-hour layover.
7 hours? What time would we get there?
About 4 in the morning the following day.
What about the Madrid one? Which airline is that?
We fly GreenJet into Madrid and then Prince Air for the second leg.
GreenJet? No way. I flew with them last year. They charge you for everything, and the seats are tiny. Besides, we need to take at least one checked bag, right?
I guess.
They charge €55 if your bag is over 10 kilograms. Plus, they don't serve food or drinks, or even water. You have to buy it.
Really? That's ridiculous. Shall we take the Oslo route then?
I suppose, why don't we have one last look to see if we can find anything better?
Sure. When was the last time you flew somewhere? Where did you go? In the dialogue, you heard these words and phrases to talk about air travel. Could you explain what they mean? A direct flight means you take one flight to your destination. You don't stop or change planes in another city. If you don't fly direct and you change planes, you might have to wait in the airport. This waiting time is called a layover.
A checked bag is a bag or suitcase that you check in so that it flies in the hold of the plane. The opposite is hand baggage, meaning bags which you carry with you. In the dialogue, we talked about some of the disadvantages of flying with a specific airline. Do you remember what you heard? You heard, they charge you for everything. The seats are tiny. They don't serve food or drinks. What do you think that first sentence means?
Many budget airlines offer cheap tickets, but you have to pay for extras. For example, you might have to pay to check in a bag, or you might have to buy food and drink on the plane. They charge you for everything suggests that this airline has a lot of extra charges, which could make your ticket more expensive. Of course, not all airlines are like this. You could also talk about the advantages of a certain airline. For example, you could say, the seats have lots of legroom. Their staff are very helpful and polite. The food is pretty good.
Can you guess what legroom means? It's how much space you have for your legs and feet. If you're tall, you need a seat with lots of legroom.
Here's a question. Which airlines do you think are the best or worst? Can you think of 2 or 3 advantages or disadvantages of the airline you chose? Try to make 2 or 3 sentences and say them out loud. Pause the video and do it now.
We have one final task for you. How do you get around your hometown? What are the advantages or disadvantages of different forms of transport where you live? Write a short answer, put it in the comments, and we'll give you some feedback and corrections. Thanks for watching.
See you next time.
Okay, that's it, guys. I think we have just covered most of the related phrases, sentences, questions related to transportation, as we said. Hope you enjoyed and you understood our lesson today. Thank you and see you next time, inshallah. Bye.